You got to pick one of the two rookie quarterbacks who are going to be playing on Sunday for right now and for the future. Who are you picking? I am picking Anthony Richardson for right now. I watched his film, all 22, because I am a football savant, against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and I thought that he looked more confident, perhaps cocky, against the Jaguars. I'm really impressed by his ability to run. He puts his shoulder into people, runs like a man, unlike Jalen Hurts for whatever reason last night. Gotta say, Jalen Hurts, I am bummed out by what I have seen through 2 weeks. I know you got paid. Can we run people over again? Or are we just going to dive on the ground when a couple of defenders get near you? Not a fan of that. But to bring it back to Richardson, good at running, not afraid to put his shoulder down, can make throws very easily, even if he doesn't have to step all the way into it. And he has a good wide receiver in Michael Pittman. And he's got a better offensive line than the Texans by default. So part of it is his situation around him. But I think right now, between these two quarterbacks, Anthony Richardson is playing a little bit more confidently than C.J. Stroud. That's not to say C.J. Stroud has zero confidence. I think C.J. Stroud looked pretty damn good against Baltimore, all things considered. But for week 2, if I could have either of these two quarterbacks, I would take Richardson on Sunday. Sean Mapes, who would you take between those two?
I think I'd still roll with C.J. Stroud, but I understand how it's close, just because of we all knew the tools that Anthony Richardson had, but the thought was that it was going to take a while for him to kind of get it all ironed out, and he is not a finished product. But what he showed on last Sunday was he's farther ahead than I think we could have expected. He was like a solid NFL quarterback in week 1 of his rookie year. So I do think that he might be kind of zooming past the developmental like benchmarks that we all had in our minds for him. But still, when it comes to like a down-to-down like hashtag real quarterbacking, I do think that CJ showed enough against a good defense, whereas I'm not so sure. I think the Jags defense kind of stinks.
Well,
they stunk last year, and they didn't really do anything to fix it.
For what it's worth, though, Sean, Richardson's leading rusher on Sunday for the Colts, did you see, without Jonathan Taylor?
Oh.
No, well, after Richardson. Because Richardson had 10 carries for 40 yards. That led the Colts. Their starting running back had 13 carries for 14 yards, and he fumbled the ball and lost it twice. Ugh. Like, that is an all-time bad performance by Deion Jackson. And yet, Richardson, I still thought, looked pretty good out there. You just got to be a little bit more careful. So that is up to you guys today on the most interactive sports talk show in Houston. I do think ultimately Stroud will be better. So long-term, I would pick Stroud over Richardson. But in the right now, I think that Richardson can do more with less than Stroud can at this moment in time.
That's interesting because I have it flipped. I think that the upside with Richardson, and he's shown like really no like reason why he won't hit the upside. Maybe it's just like injuries and stuff like that. Like he gets RG3'd, but I think that when they're both finished products, Anthony Richardson's finished product is just going to be like insane just because of the physical things that he can do on a football field.
There are very impressive things that he can do out there. Someone texted in that he can't throw left like he's Zoolander. I didn't see that when I watched it, but maybe I'm going to have to rewatch it again with that in mind. D'Amico Ryans, head coach of the Houston Texans, had this to say about Anthony Richardson on Wednesday.
I think Anthony has done a really good job with the Colts, being a young quarterback. Still has a lot to learn as all rookie quarterbacks, but you can see the athleticism. You can see, he can sling the football. Right? He does a really good job there. So I think he's a young kid who has show a lot of potential, and we have to be on our A game. He does a really good job of, creating on the plays on the move. He can get out of the pocket, scramble. He's very, very big, strong guy, tough guy to get down. So it's going to be a really tough challenge for us physically. He's a tough guy to bring down. So it's going to take all of us swarming to the ball and being on our keys, being on our rules and where we're supposed to be.
D'Amico using the S word, swarm, again. I think they're going to be more equipped for Richardson than they are for Lamar Jackson. Jackson is elusive with his speed. Richardson is fast, but he is in a lot of ways a lot like Cam Newton, where he more wants to, I think, run people over. And he definitely has quickness to get away from defensive linemen and stuff. But I think that last week for the Texans is going to help him out. And honestly, if we're looking at this game, I think the Texans match up very well with Indianapolis. We'll talk a little bit more about that over the course of the program. Anthony Richardson and C.J. Stroud actually have a relationship. This was C.J. Stroud on Wednesday talking about how he knows Anthony Richardson, the quarterback he's going to be going up against on Sunday.
It's kind of cool because, I mean, like you said, I've known him since high school. And of course followed his career at Florida and had an amazing career there. And now that we're both picked high in the draft at quarterback and playing against each other in the same division is kind of cool. So, yeah, man, of course we're going to compete against each other and we both want to win. And I think that's just shows what kind of competitive nature we have. But I'm rooting for him and I hope that everything that in his career goes well, except for when he plays the Texans. So, but nah, that's my guy, man. I love him to death, bro. He's a great dude. Man, he's a good rapper. I heard his little song. So yeah, I like hearing music, too. So shout out to my dog, Ant, man. But I'll be trying to get him this week.
You know what? He's saying a lot of the right things in 2023, the politically correct things. But I want C.J. Stroud to hate Anthony Richardson. I want C.J. Stroud to come out with a diss track. Would Stroud do that, given the way that he starts his press conferences? Probably not. But it would be difficult to go, as the kids say, bar for bar against a man in Anthony Richardson who can rap like this.
Say that's the mission, I'm writing until our plats get bigger.
The gang talking to me sounding like some activist. Talk to him every day, they tell me that I'm talented. If I cry after I lose, that mean I'm passionate. Shout out to Speed, he paved the way for all this rapping.
Whoa.
Turn it up, yeah, I'm on go mode. Never turn my back on my brother, yeah, that's the bro code.
Bro code.
With the light, going slow mo. Got love in my city, when they see me, they want a photo. As a youngin', I ain't never eat no peas. On the field, I'm a saint, I be throwing like Drew Brees. Ain't worry about no trouble, I ain't gotta worry about no bleeding. For the gang, I'm 10 toes down, I'm standing on my feet.
He's too cool for Indianapolis.
I will say, and this is just a complete guess, C.J. Stroud doesn't have to cuss to sell records.
That's true. Just like Will Smith.
Just like Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Wild Wild West. When I roll into the Wild Wild West.
Jim West, Desperado.
Rough Rider. No, you don't want none.
I loved, he did the same thing with Men in Black, where he made the rap for the song that explained the plot of the movie for the movie's like credits. It's such a funny thing that he did.
Welcome to Miami. Benito, honey. Paul Galaccio, ESPN 97.5 and 92.5, 713-780-3776 to call, to text. From the 409 Josh says, I think I heard Richardson threw it like 29 times right and 4 times left with an interception to the left. I think I would have remembered that on the All-22, so perhaps I didn't study it as hard as I needed to.
But all he had to do was turn left.
What do you mean?
I'm not an ambi-turner. It's a problem I had since I was a baby.
I can't turn left. Those texters are right. Anthony Richardson legitimately threw 4 passes downfield outside the left hash in Sunday's Colts loss 31-21 to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Sean.
And you're taking him over C.J. Stroud, who, to my knowledge, can go both ways.
Whoa.
Which, credit to him.
Credit to him for going both ways. But yeah, you know why, Sean? I don't want no liberal bitch under center. I want my guy to always go right.
Yeah.
Hard right. Alt right. And I know we talk about the Stroud boys all the time, but come on. It's all about
AR-15.
AR-15s, man. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for completing that thought. I was trying to make a reference to that song that I forget. What is the Men of Richmond or something like that?
Oh, I was trying to think of try that in a small town, Anthony Richardson.
Well, he will. You let him keep his AR-15, bitch. Damn liberals trying to keep our country down.